Hello, and welcome to Lorekeeper Sanctum. I am your Lorekeeper, and today's video brings us back to Thedas for my series on the Evanurus of Dragon Age. The topic of today's video is Junei, god of the craft. As one of the Evanurus, Junei was not truly a god but a powerful elven mage who enslaved the people, branding them with their Valasleen. Little is known about Junei, as he is the least frequently depicted of all the Evanurus. He's described as either the brother or the husband of Selaise, with one account even stating that he created himself. In Dragon Age Origins, and again in Inquisition, we get the following codex entry about Junei. Junei, god of the craft. We dedicate all our crafts to Junei, for it is he who taught the people to bend the branches of trees to make our bows, and to fashion coverings of furs and ironbark. Without Junei, would we have the Aravel, or the harnesses for our hala? When the people were young, we wandered the forests without purpose. We drank from streams and ate the berries and nuts that we could find. We did not hunt, for we had no bows. We wore nothing, for we had no knowledge of spinning or needlecraft. We shivered in the cold nights and went hungry through the winters, when all the world was covered in ice and snow. Then Selaise the Hearthkeeper came, and gave us fire, and taught us how to feed it with wood. Junei taught us to fashion bows and arrows and knives so that we could hunt. We learned to cook the flesh of the creatures we hunted over Selaise's fire. And we learned to clothe ourselves in their furs and skins. And the people were no longer cold and hungry, as told by Gisharel, keeper of the Ralafarin clan of the Dalish Elves. Propagandist Gisharel is at it again. From this, we get the idea that his craft seems to have been items like weapons, tools, equipment, and possibly structures, things of a more practical nature, making him sound a lot like some sort of smith. Two of his high keepers were also known to be smiths. The sword Evanura was forged by a Dalish high keeper of Junei. While Keeper Gisharel seems very certain that Junei was one of the Evanurus who taught the elves to craft what they needed to hunt and build, the actual records are a little less clear. We find the following codex entry in the Temple of Mythal in Dragon Age Inquisition. The Mystery of Junei. Each elven god represents an aspect of their ancient civilization, each story a metaphor for this aspect. Junei's is least understood. Depictions stretch back to ancient Arlathan, but he appears most seldom of all their deities. Dalish legend says Junei is a god of crafts and building, but the oldest depictions have none of the tools the Dalish associate with him. Junei's role may have changed over time, or simply cannot be understood today. As the elves fell, ancient Tevinter spared little thought to preserving any Dalish culture not convenient or understood. From a treaty on the pagan and heretical customs of the Elven by Senolin Tavernier of the University of Orlais, commissioned by Empress Celine. With so little surviving or reliable information regarding the Evanurus, it's interesting to think that Junei's role may have changed over time, either literally or simply through propaganda. If his earlier depictions widely differ from later ones, it does seem likely that his role changed or was rewritten. If we consider that the Evanurus began as generals, it's entirely possible that his role could have changed. Certainly, with a life of immortality, one could foreseeably change professions. I suppose we may never know for certain unless it's revealed in-game. In another codex entry, found in the Shattered Library during the Trespasser DLC in Dragon Age Inquisition, we are told that Junei received the Sonalium, a masterwork temple palace, as a thank you gift from Selaise for some great favor provided to her. Something else to ponder. What kind of favor could warrant such a grand and splendid gift? If you've been following my series on the Evanurus this far, you may have heard my speculations that there is a connection between the Evanurus and the old gods. In the case of Junei, I believe that Thoth is the most likely candidate. The primary reason that I chose Thoth is because the High Priest of Thoth is referred to as the Forge Rite of Fire, giving him a connection to smithing. And that's all I have for today on Junei, God of the Craft. Thank you for stopping by Lorekeeper Sanctum. I'm your Lorekeeper. I hope that you learned something new, and I hope that you will come back soon. Until next time, friends and fellow fans of fantasy.